Inside the AFC West is brought to you by BetOnline.AG and NordVPN.com. The big game is finally here as we hit Super Sunday with the last game of the football season. As always, BetOnline has you covered from odds, scores, totals, player performance props to where the next fired head coach is going to land. BetOnline is the number one spot for all things NFL betting in 2022. And it's not just football. BetOnline's basketball, hockey, boxing, and UFC odds coverage is the best in the business, from sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games. BetOnline is your number one online wagering destination. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to get you started. The fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey there, Marcus Dash here, co-host of Chief Concerns. At the conclusion of this episode, please make sure to like and subscribe to our podcast right here on YouTube. And for all you listeners out there, please be sure to give us a 5-star review on any of the platforms you use to listen to us. I want to thank you all for listening to us throughout the season, and we look forward to engaging with you all throughout the offseason. Enjoy the episode. Now that the 2021 season is in the books for all 4 of the teams in the AFC West, we look to the start of another long and fun offseason, which 2 of the teams in the AFC West have already begun to make a splash. Now, let's take a dive inside the AFC West. Shortly after the season, both the Las Vegas Raiders and Denver Broncos got rid of their head men in charge. Obviously, the Raiders had interim head coach Rich Bisaccia, who led the Raiders to their first playoff game since 2016, doing so after a year of many distractions, starting with the John Gruden email controversy, then to Henry Ruggs' DUI and fatal car crash, then the Damon Arnett video showing his guns and making death threats. But despite all that, Bisaccia led the team to the playoffs, where they eventually lost to the AFC Super Bowl representative in the Cincinnati Bengals. After their loss, the Raiders fired general manager Mike Mayock and continued their head coach search, which brought them to a dual hire of Josh McDaniels as their head coach and Dave Ziegler as their GM. McDaniels and Ziegler both come from New England.
When I met Josh on Saturday, we met in the hallway as we were passing. It was before the interview process was going to start. And I said, hey, I introduced myself and everything. And he looked me in the eye and he said, there's one thing. It was a fumble. So Raider Nation, if you're worried, he's already come over to the dark side.
Ziegler was head of player personnel in New England from 2016 to 2021. Before that, he was a scout in Denver from 2010 to 2012. McDaniels has had 2 stints as the offensive coordinator in New England from 2006 to 2008, and then 2012 to 2021. Like new GM Dave Ziegler, McDaniels is no stranger to the AFC West. Before his second stint in New England, he was the head coach in Denver for a year and a half before getting fired during his second season. During 2009 to 2010, he finished with 11 wins and 17 losses. Ziegler and McDaniels first worked with each other during that 2010 season. McDaniels' time in Denver can be remembered for controversy, where he and then quarterback Jay Cutler got into it over a failed trade that would have sent Matt Castle to Denver for Cutler. But after that trade did not go through, Broncos traded Cutler to the Bears for Kyle Orton.
We just felt as an organization that we got to a point where it was made very clear to us that we were not going to be able to get to a resolution where Jay Cutler could be on our football team. And at that point, we opened it up, obviously let the league know that we would have an interest in trading the player.
McDaniels also got into it with wide receiver Brandon Marshall, where he benched him for failing to arrive to a physical on time, then traded him to the Miami Dolphins for a second-round pick.
I know that he has had issues, Brandon Marshall has, with Josh McDaniels, but does that weigh does it balance out? That's a question, because he's so talented.
There was also a videotaping scandal where the Broncos' head of video operations recorded a portion of the 49ers practice ahead of their Week 8 matchup in London. McDaniels ultimately apologized for not reporting the violation to the league. Outside of the controversy, McDaniels can be remembered for drafting the late wide receiver Demaryius Thomas, and also being the guy to trade back into the first round of that same 2010 draft to get quarterback Tim Tebow.
With the 25th pick in the 2010 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Tim Tebow.
If anyone ever thought Tim Tebow could be the guy, it was Josh McDaniels. Somewhere, in all that was different, the Broncos head coach saw a franchise quarterback.
Get it up. Don't be doing this, okay? You're spinning and it's coming down. In and back out. Come on, the little things.
While this could feel like the first time we have had a New England West, it's not. Look no further than the 2009 to 2012 Kansas City Chiefs, who was led by general manager Scott Pioli, who was amongst the heads of player personnel for New England from 2000 to 2008. Pioli brought in Todd Haley as the Chiefs head coach, but over those years, Pioli brought other New England expats like Charlie Weiss, Brian Daboll, and Romeo Crennel to lead the Chiefs' offense and defense, also trading for quarterback Matt Castle and linebacker Mike Vrabel. Outside of the 2010 season, the Pioli era in Kansas City was far from a success. The Chiefs finished 23-41 during Pioli's 4-year run in Kansas City. In general, if you look at other New England assistants who became head coaches elsewhere, it is anything but successful. Joe Judge, 10-23, Matt Patricia, 13-29, Jim Schwartz, 29-51, Romeo Crennel, 32-63, Eric Mangini, 33-47, Al Groh, 9-7 in the NFL, 85-93 in college, Charlie Weiss, 41-49 in college, Josh McDaniels, 11-17, Brian Flores, 24-25, and Bill O'Brien, who leads the way with 52 wins and 48 losses. Hopefully, for Josh McDaniels' sake, he can be the first to step away from Bill's shadow and have some success. But the evidence would indicate that may not happen, but we'll see. As I mentioned before, this is a playoff team filled with talent. Looking at this Raiders offense, you can see the Patriots elements within it, with Waller being the Gronk and Renfro being the Welker or Julian Edelman. Even Josh Jacobs fits the mold of a Patriots running back who can do it all. While Carr is a solid NFL starting quarterback, if McDaniels was the one that got rid of Cutler and went for Tebow, which was a ballsy move, would he make another ballsy move and ship Carr out for some picks? Or did he learn from his mistakes and will stick with the safe route in Carr? Again, time will tell. What's more important than peace of mind? Nothing. And that's what NordVPN is here for, to give you peace of mind while you are online. And with all of the threats that you face today on the internet, it's more important than ever to be sure that you have the best VPN you can get. NordVPN is the world's best VPN service, offering the fastest connectivity, most servers, and next-gen encryption to make sure that everything you do online stays secure. Plus, you can use NordVPN on all of your computers and devices, no matter the operating system. With NordVPN's unlimited bandwidth, you never have to worry about a slow connection either, and plans start at under $4 per month. So grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/believe or use the code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to get up to 70% off your NordVPN plan, plus 1 additional month for free. It's also risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Speaking of McDaniels' former team, the Broncos, the Denver Broncos moved on from head coach Vic Fangio after 3 seasons where he had a record of 19 wins and 30 losses, placing last in the division for 2 consecutive seasons. Unlike the Raiders, the Broncos front office remained intact. The Denver Broncos decided to go from a defensive-minded head coach to one of the game's best offensive minds by hiring the Green Bay Packers offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett.
I'm so excited to work with this organization, with these players, meeting with each one of them, getting to know them. I mean, this is a young, hungry football team. And it's about all of us coming together and making something special here and really making Broncos country proud, because that's what it's all about. We got to win some games.
Nathaniel Hackett is the son of NFL coach Paul Hackett, who is no stranger to the AFC West. He was the Chiefs' offensive coordinator from 1993 to 1997 and a Raiders assistant from 2008 to 2010. Before Green Bay, Nathaniel Hackett has had stints in Buffalo as the offensive coordinator during the 2013 and 2014 seasons. In 2013, the Buffalo Bills had the second most rush yards in the league and were led by the two-headed monster attack of Fred Jackson and C.J. Spiller. From 2015 to 2016, Hackett was with the Jacksonville Jaguars, where he was the quarterback's coach during Blake Bortles' best statistical year, where he had 4,400 yards passing with 35 touchdowns. Then became the team's offensive coordinator in 2016 to 2018, where he turned the Jaguars into the best rushing attack in football. That same season, they ended up winning the AFC South and ultimately lost to the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. Following his time in Jacksonville, Hackett went on to become Green Bay's offensive coordinator, where he has spent the last 3 years, turning the Packers into an offensive highlight reel. They were the highest scoring offense in 2020 and top 5 again in 2021. Hackett has been one of the few guys that Aaron Rodgers had a good relationship with throughout the last 2 years of drama between Rodgers and the Packers organization. On top of that, Hackett has already brought in Justin Outten to be his offensive coordinator. Outten has spent the last 3 seasons as the Packers tight ends coach. Since bringing Peyton Manning in to deliver a Super Bowl to Denver, the Broncos have not found their guy. And it's not for lack of trying. They've had 10 different starting quarterbacks since 2015. Elway is the one to originally cut the cord on the Tim Tebow experiment and make the move for Peyton Manning. Will he do the same to Drew Lock? They have the weapons ripe for a quarterback of Rodgers' caliber. Guys like Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, and Noah Fant. Plus, with the emergence of Javonte Williams at running back, their offense looks ready to go. The fact that Vic Fangio managed to almost get to 500 despite the quarterback woes shows how talented of a team they are. Hackett could be the guy to lure Aaron Rodgers to Denver, but only time will tell on the future for Aaron Rodgers. So what do you think of the new hires in Las Vegas and in Denver? Do you think McDaniels will be just another failed Bill Belichick disciple? And do you think Hackett could bring Aaron Rodgers to Mile High? Please let us know in the comments below, and please subscribe and review our podcast. We'll see you next time. Inside the AFC West is brought to you by BetOnline.AG